So the Reds, I'm not really interested in. We were all over the Reds last year. They decided to spend during a year which MLB teams ended up losing more money than ever before. They also have the poorest ownership group in baseball. I believe they're worth $400 million total. So they're not going to be spending money. If anything, they're going to be looking to get rid of assets.
If there's one other thing I'll touch on, you definitely don't want to have the Reds. We loved them last year. Eugenio Suarez was one of those reasons, having, almost 50 home runs, I think, 49 home runs in 2019. Is he a home run candidate now? I mean, I know that there's a narrative going around that he kind of dropped off a little bit. He did take a dip in WOBA, but he had a greater barrel and hard hit percentage rate than he had in 2019. And his max exit velocity was 111.4, and it's just shy of 112 that he had the year before. There's really been no drop off in contact with the ball or how hard he's hitting the ball. So 30-1 at the Westgate for most home runs. I don't see why it's any different than last year when he's still putting up the same, metrics that are important for home run hitting.
Terrell, one of the things I want to ask you about, because you do bring up a great point that is making me reconsider how I think about some of the win totals in this division. And you brought it up with the Cubs and that they could move pieces. That also could be the case with the Reds, right? I mean, there have been some rumors that Castillo and Gray will be moved, and maybe it's at some point during the season or whenever it may be. And there could be other pieces that the Reds sell off. So that would, I think, bolster the argument for a Pirates over, right? The division gets weaker overall, for a Brewers over win total. And it's the only thing that would make me hesitant about the Cardinals win total under. Going under on a team that won't sell, while the rest of the division is just, so they could just be picking up cheap wins. Thoughts there?
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I mean, that's exactly why I think there's value in the Pirates over. Just the two teams directly above them may not be incentivized to be competitive at all. Honestly, I don't see how the Reds are going to afford to move forward with this team, just because we talked about the NL not having a DH. It's just a bad roster fit. Like they've been a poor defensive team for a few years, and they don't have a DH spot to get guys like Castellanos and Moustakas out of the field and get better defenders in there. So it's a pretty ugly roster. Anthony DeSclafani was shuttled to San Francisco too. Like, they're losing talent from the depth of their rotation that they seem to previously have. So I'm kind of low on this Reds team in general. And relative to where we were last year, it's a total 180.
Yeah, the Reds, by the way, Wade Miley and Jeff Hoffman, that's their 4 and 5 projected starters? Oh,
it's a bad division, Stucky. It's nobody has money to spend, and they've decided that most of them are going to be sellers as well.
One player that probably won't be moving is Amir Garrett. 1-year contract, $1.5 million. I mean, that is cheap. I mean, he would have to draw us a lot of prospects. That is a very club-friendly contract.